looking live at a sold-out Boone Pickens Stadium where the Oklahoma State Cowboys are ready to give the BCS voters a reason for why the Cowboys belong in the BCS title game. Tonight in prime time, Oklahoma State hosts a strong Kansas State Wildcat team trying to bounce back and ruin a Cowboys' perfect season here in Stillwater. There are the BCS standings, and the experts tell us that the loser of tonight's LSU-Alabama game figures to slip beneath both Oklahoma State and Stanford. Stanford already a big winner over Oregon State and Corvallis earlier today. Now it is the Cowboys' turn to move center stage and set sail against LSU or Alabama. Welcome, everybody. We're Kirk Herbstreit. I'm Brent Musburg. You know the story about the Cowboys. Herbie, they're averaging almost 50 points a game. What an offense.
It's amazing to watch them this year. And Brandon Wheedon, the quarterback, I think is executing his offense as well as any quarterback really in college football. He's got a go-to guy, and Justin Blackman. Blackman last year won the Biletnikoff, top wide receiver in all of college football. You can see the year that he's enjoying this year already. 74 receptions on the year, and we're still playing this year. Now, the thing about this offense, and you alluded to it there in the tease, they can run the football. So it's a balanced attack that'll come after Kansas State. It's not just Wheedon, but I just love Wheedon's confidence in the way he leads this offense.
Oh, by the way, here comes the sly old gray fox out of Manhattan, Kansas. You can never overlook Bill Snyder.
Well, especially considering what happened to them last week at home against Oklahoma. There are a lot of people that feel they got exposed. They don't feel that way. They are out to come out and play very, very well against Oklahoma State. Collin Klein's the key here. He's the quarterback. He's 6'5", about 226 pounds, runs the football. They don't throw it very well, so I think it's important for Kansas State to rely on number 7, the quarterback Klein, to run the football, take advantage of field position, and just work that clock and keep old Brandon Wheedon on the sidelines.
You know, Herbie, the Cowboys' defense fascinates me. They give up a ton of yards, but, man, can they steal the football.
Well, they're doing it as well as anybody in the country. In fact, they're number 1 in the nation in turnover margin. So they're protecting it on offense and getting it back on defense, and that'll be a big key tonight because, again, Kansas State's one of those scrappy teams. You don't always respect them because they don't have that big playability on offense, but they all of a sudden are hanging around for 2 quarters, 3 quarters, and then they find a way to win it in the 4th. So Oklahoma State's got to win the turnover margin.
We've got a little crosswind gusting across, and it may be with the kickers moving left to right. Otherwise, pretty pleasant evening down here for this game between Kansas State and Oklahoma State, as you see the veteran Bill Snyder back for his 2nd term and 20th season overall. And across the way, the man who has really restored the fortunes of the Cowboys, Mike Gundy, who just keeps getting better and better. This is his 7th season as the Cowboys head coach. So, now, Lisa Salters, you tell me there was a bigger weather story last night. I slept right through it.
Hey, Brent, as if you guys were still out in Southern California. Magnitude 4.7 earthquake hit here this morning at 2:12 a.m. in Prague, Oklahoma. That's about 60 miles south of us where we are here in Stillwater. I felt it. It woke me up, but I went right back to sleep. None of the players, coaches, officials, none of them felt it at all. In fact, Mike Gundy told me he didn't even know about it until I told him. He said, I don't watch TV, don't listen to the radio. People don't talk to me on game day.
So the freshman Josh Stewart brings it out to the 32.
I was in Tuscaloosa. You didn't feel it? I was going to. Did you hear it? Did you feel anything? Did you?
I thought it might have been last call. So here we go, Herbie.
Here we go.
We've got Brandon Wheedon completing better than 71% of his passes, 22 touchdowns and 7 picks.
Wow, but a big, strong arm. Great understanding of this offense. Dana Holgorsen last year brought it from Houston. He's now the head coach at West Virginia. Todd Monken is now running this show, and Brandon Wheedon's doing a great job.
And Herschel Sims, the talented freshman, checks on as they throw the first pass to Joseph Randall. But let's go back to number 23. Who appeared here in the starting lineup. He's only 5'9", 208. He was in the doghouse for a while, and he has been getting a chance more and more. There is that full house look that the Cowboys like here on 2nd and 5. And they bring the end around, and that's Blackman with his first touch of the game, and he will not get a first down.
Now, very important, Brent, early in this game for Kansas State's defense to get off to a good start. And, you love to see Oklahoma State just trying to get the ball into their playmakers' hands. The first play was Randall on the catch out to the right flat. And then, of course, Blackman on the reverse. Just try to get them settled into the game early.
Use the running game with Randall short of that first down. Now, this is an important point in this game, Herbie, because Kansas State won the flip and deferred. They knew that Oklahoma State was going to get the ball first. You and I are a little bit surprised, but it's 3 and out.
And it works out for them. And the other thing, Brent, let's remember how the second half ended last week against Oklahoma. Very important for them to get their confidence established here early in this game. That was a big series for them.
There is the freshman Tyler Lockett from just down the road in Tulsa, Oklahoma, waiting to touch the ball for the first time. Takes a big hop toward the end zone. Knocked dead at the 1-yard line. What a great special teams play by the Cowboys when you can bury a team. And that was Kyle Hale, a safety. Watch this play by Hale.
Brent, you work on this over and over, but how many times do you see it in college football? Guys take the ball across the goal line. Great effort by Hale to knock it back and give this defense now a chance to pin Kansas State deep in their own territory.
Quinn Sharp, one of the best punters in the country a year ago. Now he's also the place kicker, and he kicks off, and he buries Kansas State inside the 5, but give Hale a big good going for that. Hubert is the running back now behind Klein. He'll get the first carry behind the right side, and he is jumped by Bill Young's defense.
For people that have not seen Collin Klein play this year, he has been a great story all over college football. 6'5", 226-pound junior. He's tough, very physical. He's thrown for close to 1,000 yards, but Brent, he's run for close to 800 yards. And tonight, his ability to control the clock and run the football along with John Hubert will be the key for Kansas State.
So you can see Oklahoma State's base 4-3 bring a safety up close to the box. And there's that read option. Klein fumbles the ball.
There they go.
Fumble, first and goal. And there is another takeover. That is their 13th fumble recovery. That is their 30th overall turnover. They are #1 in the FBS.
Great job. They work on this over and over, Brent. And this is a nice job, it looked like, by Rashedi Jones getting his hand in there to knock the ball loose. Here comes Klein. You know it's coming. There's Jones collapsing down to get a hand on the ball, and it's loose. Go back to Hale's effort, Brent, to keep the ball from going into the end zone, pinning Kansas State deep in their own territory, and the defense gets the big turnover.
Now Randall will be the running back. Kai Staley, #9, is the fullback. He is off to the left in this full house set. This is power to the left, and here comes Randall in that direction. End zone, touchdown. Joseph Randall with the first score of the game. And the Cowboys jump ahead as, again, they take advantage of the 30th turnover of the year that their defense has come up with. It's just an amazing statistic.
You know, 30 turnovers, Brent, and they have turned those turnovers now into 129 points, which is by far the best in the country. So the defense does their job, and when the offense gets the ball, more often than not, they're putting points up on the board.
Quinn Sharp, as we told you, does everything. Tacks on the extra point. So it was first the turnover, forced by Bill Young's aggressive defense. Then one play after that, Joseph Randall falls power to the left, basically a wishbone look, and he steps into the end zone. Well, the #3 team in the nation, Oklahoma State, leading here in Stillwater as we continue Dr. Pepper's road to the BCS Championship the night of January 9th in New Orleans, Louisiana. It is amazing, Herbie, to watch Sharp practice. He takes Sunday, Monday off. Then he'll practice maybe punting on Tuesday and maybe kicking off on Wednesday for a little bit, and then field goal kicking. They were concerned when the season started as to whether or not he could handle all three. He wanted to take a shot at it. He's one of the prolific all-around kickers in the country. Banging this one into the end zone, and Lockett decides to bring it on out. And he is run out of bounds. There's a penalty flag at the 15-yard line. Herbie, let's take a look at today's impact players, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Well, clearly on offense is Collin Klein. He's already got the fumble. He's going to have to turn his game around after that. John Hubert, the two of them represent the bulk of the offense. And on defense, Meshach Williams will provide pressure off the edge. And then Arthur Brown
the transfer from Tennessee doing a good job, or from Miami rather, doing a great job in providing a lot of leadership on that side as well.
Wildcats down a touchdown following an early turnover. If you just turned over to take a peek at the #3 team in the country. And it was a nice completion for a first down. Sitting down was Thompson. A little bit of soft coverage that time, and so it will be another first and 10.
Brent, in this day and age, especially in this conference, you look at Kansas State, and you're not looking at Baylor, you're not looking at Texas Tech or Oklahoma State or Oklahoma, or these offenses just going to throw it up tempo, a little bit more old school with Bill Snyder. They're going to work the clock, and a little pass like that is a big deal for this offense.
Angelo Peace is the Wildcat back here tonight, so let's keep an eye on Peace on the field, and he's got it on the Wildcat. They're going to cut back in the middle, and he picks up a couple of yards before Elkins brings him to the ground. So Bill Snyder, he'll have some twists and turns with this offense here tonight. Try to do some unusual things, try to keep the Cowboys off balance, try to keep the clock in his favor if he can, because the Cowboys are so prolific.
The field position will be a big part of this game too for Kansas State. It's been big that they've been able to put together a pretty good drive here. And again, you said it early, they want to chew as much clock up as they can.
Hubert back in as the running back. Klein hands off to him, and number 33. This is going to be third and fairly long on this play as Lewis comes up to make the stop. And Sean Lewis is one of the better athletes here. He's out of Missouri City, Texas. He's a sophomore, only 5'11". He was a consensus freshman All-American a year ago.
You can see that Lewis and the other linebackers are just attacking downhill because, again, the very little respect that they have for this passing game, which is dead last in the Big 12 Conference.
3rd and 6, just shy of midfield. Klein again forced out of the pocket, fires deflected in the air and out of bounds, incomplete, and the Wildcats are forced to punt. Thompson, the intended target.
And Cooper Bassett, at defensive end that time, lined up as a defensive end and then actually dropped and mirrored Collin Klein, trying to stay up with him and try to force the pass there.
And look who's back to return the punt. The all-everything, Justin Blackman, with those sure mitts of his first punt return of the season. And as, of course, the Cowboys are taking a look at a couple of wrinkles. They know that they've got some tough games remaining, including Bedlam against OU. A beautiful punt. And this will be a fair catch at the 15-yard line. And wouldn't you know it, just a little bit of a juggle there by number 81, and then he hangs on. 7-0 now. We'll be right back. The #3 team in the nation with the lead. Hey, we welcome you back to Stillwater with Kirk Herbstreit and Lisa Salters. I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along with us here tonight as we take a peek at the #3 team. Oklahoma State pursuing LSU and Alabama at the top of the rankings. And of course, after a turnover, if you're just checking to see what the score is, Cowboys pounced. One play, they recovered a fumble. The 30th turnover of the year for the Cowboy defense. Just amazing. Number one in the nation. And here comes Brandon Wheedon now with 1st and 10. And off to Randall again. He's been the workhorse. He stopped near the 20. Herbie, let's take a look at our Chick-fil-A impact players here.
Well, we again have to start with Brandon Wheedon. His leadership, not just his ability to throw, will be big tonight again for the Cowboys. I love Joseph Randall and Jeremy Smith. We put Randall up there because he's the go-to man for the most part. Justin Blackman on the outside, and Blacknick, if Kansas State drops back to throw, Blacknick will put a lot of pressure on him. Already 7 sacks this year.
2nd down, wide open, and that time they go to Tracy Moore. You know, there's so much attention, Herbie, to number 81. Guys like Moore and Anderson, they can shake it and bake it loose.
You saw the linebacker, Lemur, actually bite up on the play action, and that's the difference in this offense. You have to respect the running game, and it got the linebacker out of position.
Play action. Wheedon has great time, fires downfield, got another open target. It's Moore again, and Moore is into the red zone. You talk about a prolific hold. The ball was put down. Kansas State has the football running out of bounds.
Yeah, right towards just the very end. I mean, he's fighting for every yard. He's down for sure.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
No.
Is there with the left? Watch the left knee, folks. Isn't he down?
He's down.
So here is Wheedon. Herbie, you talked about he's nearby Edmond, Oklahoma. About 45 minutes from here if you move it a little bit. And the Yankees, of course, drafted him in the second round. Got a little age.
Yeah, he does. And when you talk to him, you really feel like you're talking to an NFL quarterback with his approach and his demeanor. He's married. He's 28 years old. The cool thing is he still is able to blend in with the guys. He's one of the guys, which is important when it comes to the chemistry of a football team.
He's taking golf. He plays out at Karsten Creek Golf Club. Have a great golf program here. And there he is hitting him 3 times in a row. Tracy Moore on first down. So suddenly Moore is more prolific tonight than number 81, Justin Black. Justin will go back to that huddle and say, my turn. He's
Especially
over there.
down in the red zone.
If they see one-on-one, folks, forget about it. Here comes the fade to 81. Soft coverage on him. Quick throw to him because it was soft. Strength touchdown. You can't play him that soft because you're not going to be able to tackle him. That's how strong he is. 6'1", 215 pounds, junior from Ardmore, Oklahoma. And Pistol Pete says, that's my man.
Good thing Pistol Pete's not doing push-ups this year. It'd be a long year. But you're right.
If you play up tight on him, he's got the quickness to go around you on the fade. And if you play soft because you respect his ability to get by you, then he's physical enough, as we just saw there, to be able to shake a tackle and get upfield. He's a nightmare for a corner on an island.
Here's Quinn Sharp again. Tacking it on. Wes Harlan was the holder. Put it down. So the scoring machine is underway again. A 2-touchdown lead. We'll be right back. So here's the kickoff back in the end zone. They'll take a knee. Come on out. So now from that pistol formation, Klein will hand off, and this is going to be second down and long. Wildcats unable to escape their own territory. They're at the 36-yard line as Blatnick makes the stop, and to take a look back, leading 17-14, and then they were outscored 44-0 in the last 44 and change of that game by the Sooners. Second and 13. Complete to about the 42-yard line. Thompson, the receiver, but they're still not in good shape here, Herbie, for this third down.
Now, for them to be in position to move the ball and sustain drives, they've got to have more success on 1st and 10. And that false start pushed them back to 1st and 15. Again, they don't have the offense to recover from that. They've got to be more in the 2nd and 7, 3rd and short. These 3rd and longs make it tough on Klein.
So he's got 5 targets, split out wide, trying to pick up the 7. And it's deflected, and they'll be forced to punt it again. Cooper Bassett, the defensive ends, making a play for Bill Young that time. And Blackman is going back to try his hands at another punt return.
Look at Bassett, number 80, great athlete, gets his arm up to be able to knock that ball down. In Kansas State, 3rd and 7 or longer. They're dead last in the Big 12 at converting in those situations. So they've got to be able to, again, have better success on 1st and 2nd down to get to more manageable 3rd down.
So here comes Ryan Dorr to punt it again. He hung the last one really up in the air. Blackman's going to take a crack. Fumble! Dive for the loose ball. Remember, Blackman juggled the first one on the fair catch. And we will let the officials sort this out. Put the ball on the ground. Kansas State comes away. That's Herzog underneath, number 59, and hands the ball to the referee.
Well, these are the things that have to happen for Kansas State. You know, they've got to be able to get a break, and sure-handed Justin Blackman, Mr. Do-it-all, makes a huge mistake, and Kansas State is there with Herzog to be able to capitalize on it. And now their offense, see if they can take advantage of a mistake and try to put points on the board the way the Cowboys did earlier.
Collin Klein, the quarterback. He's got Chris Harper, his wideout, split far out to the right as he checks the sideline with the coaching staff. Justin Gilbert, they run it in the other direction. Stopped just short of the 20-yard line. They started this on the 23-yard line of the Cowboys, easily their best field position of the game. Elkins makes the stop.
And their adjustment to Bill Young crowding the line of scrimmage is 1st and 10, spreading them out with 4 receivers that time. And if they're going to pressure them and they're going to attack the line of scrimmage, sometimes when you put 4 receivers in, you can see where the pressure is and you can get the numbers to your advantage to allow you to run the ball a little bit better. But right now, that offensive line, they're just not sustaining blocks against the athletic Oklahoma State front.
Now, John Hubert is the running back right alongside Klein. They bring power into the backfield. Klein, the good runner, keeps it, and he's to the 18-yard line, and this will be 3rd down and about 5 as Brown up from the corner to make the stop.
And they're basically using Klein as a tailback. I mean, this is a running back, quarterback that's essentially a running back. So in theory, it gives you an extra man for the defense to have to account for. And that's why, again, they are determined to crowd that line because of Collin Klein's ability to run the football.
And Klein tripped up at the 20-yard line, a loss. And let's see if Snyder goes for the field goal. Nick Pitts was there, the offensive lineman. They get kind of tangled up, and they'll send Anthony Cantelli out.
Brent, watch the speed again and the quickness that this offensive line is struggling with. That time Pitts was trying to pull around 50, but he doesn't even have time to be able to get around the edge because of, again, the quickness of that defensive line.
So here comes the field goal. The holder will put it down at the 27. So it's a 37-yard attempt. This young man hit a 54-yarder last week back in Manhattan. And so Kansas State takes advantage of the turnover. They're on the board, but they're still trailing here, 14-3. Boone Pickens Stadium, Stillwater, Oklahoma. And it will be the Cowboys returning this pooch punt. And a big gap, 35 out to the 42. And down at the 45 is Josh Stewart, the freshman from Denton, Texas, not too far from Dallas. Randall is the running back. Number 9, Staley. And what a story it is. Young man that some thought really might not ever walk again after the severe injury that he suffered. Scored a touchdown against Baylor the other day. Play action. Wheedon sets, fires downfield, and picked off at the 24-yard line by Hartman.
Boy, Hartman does an outstanding job. We just talked about the job that Whedon's been doing with his eyes and how much he's in control. Hartman just sits back there in center field and reads the eyes of the quarterback, and that's one of the rare times you're going to see Brandon Wheedon get a little bit greedy trying to make a decision. Watch the eyes. He just sits back, falls to the middle of the field, reads the eyes. The ball is actually thrown to the receiver behind Hartman, but Hartman goes up and makes a very athletic play to make that interception.
Whedon's 8th interception of the season, and it's picked up by the young man from Wichita. And they're going to bring an end around, double reverse Lockett. Klein is out blocking. Lockett to the 50. Lockett breaks free to the 30. Cuts back to the 20. And Lockett finally run out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. A beautiful double reverse, taking advantage of the great pursuit. And it's a 63-yard gain by Lockett.
And taking advantage of the aggression of this defense on an early down. How about Collin Klein, by the way, Brent, leading the way as a quarterback. 6'5", 226. He's taking on anybody that he can until at the end, Martin knocks him down. But watch the quarterback here lead the way. Lockett's got tremendous speed. Good effort there by Hubert as well. Klein staying with him. Well, I'll tell you what, that was a great call on 1st and 10. To take advantage of an overly aggressive defense here, defending the run. They got him out of position, and Lockett made him pay for it.
So Klein, after coming downfield as a blocker, Bill has come right back with that Wildcat. He's seen something he thinks he can take advantage of here. He sprints outside, touchdown, Kansas State. So down by 14, the Wildcats put 9, and they're an extra point away from 10. Cantelli will add the extra point if he can.
Boy, it's feeling a little bit like last week, where, as you said, they got down and then Kansas State fought back against the Sooners. Direct snap to Pease. Just a zone play off to the left. They got the blocking that they needed, and you love to see the receiver, Chris Harper, helping out to push that defensive back to the outside, and it made it pretty easy there for Pease to get upfield for that touchdown.
So turnovers are killing Oklahoma State. But this Kansas State team has to be awfully happy with what just happened here. In this quarter, with 1:25 to go, they put themselves right back in the thick of it. All right, Stewart and Gilbert are back deep to return this kickoff, and Justin Gilbert has returned 2 for touchdowns. This one will be fielded at the 9 by Justin. Trying to stretch the coverage team at the 33-yard line. Listen. Wheedon wants to set the quick screen to Randall. And the blockers were a little bit to the right of him, and the tackle is made at the 38-yard line. Latui, who has been very active here on the last couple of plays.
And that's what you love to see against a screen. The defensive lineman able to feel it and able to chase it down from the inside out. And Latui, the last 2 plays involved, and he has to check out, using a little bit too much energy there.
Young man from Salt Lake City. Second down, Wheedon empties out the backfield. Offensive line, but it's deflected. A little bit low trajectory, leaving after the offensive line had given him plenty of time, and Guidry on the field came in on the play.
And against this quick release and the way Wheedon likes to get the ball out of his hands, Guidry did the only thing you can do as a defensive lineman, just try to get a hand up and knock that ball down.
So it's 3rd and 7 here, still in the first quarter. Bounce, one hop. They'll be forced to punt. So Kansas State has turned things around here. Meanwhile, in the LSU-Alabama game, they are scoreless. They have gone to the second quarter in that game.
Wheedon a little bit out of sync after the interception. Kansas State's defense does a good job of being able to get in position, and that time you wonder if Wheedon, who looked like he wanted to get the ball downfield, wasn't able to get his feet set and step into that throw out to Randall.
Here comes Sharp, one of the great punters. Drills it. Lockett trying to pick his way, and he's just short of the 25-yard line. So Hubert in as the running back. Took a long time to get that handoff. Gave the defense too much time to jump on that play, and Elkins was there as we come to the end of the first quarter. So Oklahoma State jumps out to a 2-touchdown lead, but then they turn it over twice, and the Wildcats are right back in it, trailing 14-10. We welcome you back to Stillwater, the number 3 team in the nation. Once had a 14-point lead. Now it's only 4. Collin Klein on the field. Hubert, the Wildcat running back, right next to him. And Herbie, these guys have been pretty efficient after these 2 turnovers.
That double reverse, maybe to see if that slows down the aggressiveness from Oklahoma State's defense.
Klein comes up complete to Chris Harper. So if you take a look at how they're staying in, there's no question it's these 2 turnovers.
Justin Blackman, one of the best all-around players in college football, makes a mistake on the punt return. And then Brandon Wheedon, they're 2 superstars. He gets a bit greedy, tries to go downfield. The interception by Hartman. And Kansas State taking advantage of those opportunities. Peace gets it in. They've got a field goal, and they're 10 points tonight, both being able to be set up by those turnovers by the Cowboys.
Need 5 on this 3rd down, and they've got it. Complete to the 37-yard line to Tremaine Thompson, who has been very active here tonight for the Wildcats.
Oklahoma State decided to blitz the safety low, but what's interesting is the cushion you see out here on the outside, I'm sorry, to your left there. It's just such a soft spot in an area where on 3rd down, it makes it very easy for the quarterback to be able to read that and make the throw.
Klein going deep, got a receiver, caught at the 18-yard line. Thompson again, the young man from Jenks, Oklahoma. That's one of the great high school programs in this state. And the sophomore comes down with another catch, and that's for 34 yards.
Brent, you're going to see the option look here to try to bait these boys right here, the linebackers and safeties. Receiver comes from here, and there's nobody left in the inside. See the option look? Linebackers and safeties bite up, and the receiver's able to get right behind him with Tremaine Thompson.
Now they're at the 16-yard line and knocking on the door. Klein, a keeper. And he slams to the 9-yard line, and Jones makes the stop for the Cowboys, who are back on their heels all of a sudden.
And now you go back to running the football. Boy, they're doing a really nice job of mixing up the play calling right now, and it's putting the Oklahoma State defense, as you said, back on their heels. It sets up the run, the play action pass on 1st and 10, and right now the Cowboys defense doesn't know if it's coming or going.
That's 189 yards offense for K-State to 112 for Oklahoma State. Klein with that quick pitch, slip screen outside, and it'll be a 1st and goal. Sexton, the freshman from Kansas, and it'll be 1st and goal. And how about this? The Wildcats could jump back and take the lead here.
Brent, it's a little unorthodox with Collin Klein, but I love the guy. I mean, he plays so hard. He leaves his heart literally out there on this field. And it's really a cat and mouse game with this option look, trying to get him to bite up on the option look from time to time. He'll throw it out there in a hurry, and other times he's holding the ball and running with it.
And he is a very good runner. Very dangerous down here in the red zone. Here he comes. Klein battling, touchdown. Kansas State leads it. Collin Klein takes it into the end zone, and he has 17 rushing touchdowns. Can that possibly be that many? That's what my number says here. Yes, it's confirmed. That's 17 rushing touchdowns.
Well, when they get into the red zone, he's going to keep the football. Watch the block right there. 37 does a nice job, Braden Wilson, of opening that up. And again, the quarterback basically being the running back in this offense.
Cantelli, he tacks on the extra point. After surrendering 14 unanswered, they've come back with 17 of their own. How about these Wildcats? Go for it, Willie. So a little bit too easy for the Cowboys. They relaxed, and now for the 2-yard line, Gilbert, their ace kick return man, hurdles a defender, and he is out of bounds, and a penalty flag flies after the shove out of bounds. Around the 30-yard line, they could be tacking on more yards for this return for Justin. Picked off, intercepted, headed for the end zone. Wheedon after him, and it's going to be an Allen Chapman touchdown. How about this, ladies and gentlemen? 2 picks thrown by Wheedon, and one's a pick 6, and we got something brewing in Stillwater.
And Brent, Wheedon just takes too long. He's going to throw this ball off to the left. Look how he's waiting and waiting for Anderson, and he just telegraphed a pass this time. Chapman was sitting back behind Anderson and simply just went around him and comfortably stepped in front of him and went right down the field for a touchdown. But I tell you what, that's the 2nd time now that Brandon Wheedon has made a mistake for this offense.
And as the result, the Wildcats have jumped all over the number 3 team. Folks, do I hear an ovation out in Boise, Idaho? Do I hear some people cheering right now? You bet I do. Number 3 is in deep trouble. So we welcome you back. A stunning turnaround. The Wildcats with 24 unanswered points. Allen Chapman, number 3, with a pick 6. From City College of San Francisco, where he was a standout junior college defensive back. No one gets more production out of JC players in the country than Coach Bill Snyder in Manhattan, Kansas. Short kickoff, fielded at the 25-yard line. And penalty flag comes flying. They don't even look in Blackman's direction this time. He comes up over the top. And he hits Josh Stewart. That freshman again, Josh Cooper, nicked, and we haven't seen him here tonight, even though he did work out in pregame warmups, but he's got a little bit of an injury.
could see some separation there from the receiver attacking these linebackers. Arthur Brown that time in coverage.
Empty backfield. Now Wheedon waits for somebody to come free, and in the middle, got a first down at the 31-yard line with Michael Harrison's first catch of the night.
Yeah, they're attacking the linebackers these first 3 plays of this drive. Couple over the middle, one to the outside. That time they found Harrison working his way from the outside back to the end, and he got behind Lemur, number 23, the outside linebacker.
Wheedon off the play action, the middle again. For a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Tracy Moore, number 87, very productive here tonight.
4th pass. 4th throw to the middle of the Wildcat defense, and Arthur Brown, Lemur, and Walker have got to do a better job of protecting. They've got to get some depth there because Moore and company are getting behind them in coverage.
Now here's Wheedon again. Blackman to the 6-yard line, and it'll be 1st down and goal. So Blackman, who has a receiving touchdown here tonight, has given the Cowboys a 1st and goal.
That's 5 now, and 5 over the middle. And now that they're down inside the 10, just like we saw last time, this is where they love to feature Justin Blackman when he's one-on-one in that matchup with Malone.
So now they've got the full house backfield, and the coaches here will tell you, basically it's like the wishbone when they line up. They show power left. Here comes Randall behind the lead blocker, stumbling to the 2-yard line and down. 2nd and goal. Zimmerman with a stop for the Wildcats.
That's just big on big, and Zimmerman, the safety, has to come up there and be willing to help out. Randall runs the football very, very hard in this area, and he's got a lot of manpower to be able to follow there to the left side.
Grant Garner is the center. He runs this offensive line. 74 bends back down now with the full house. Run right straight ahead, Randall, and he is stopped short. Now it's 3rd and goal coming up, and credit Guidry with another fine play in the middle of that defense.
Boy, great job that time by Guidry, fighting off of his blocker and getting around him with quickness to be able to keep them from getting into the end zone.
On 3rd and goal, Blackman again one-on-one off to the right, but they've shown no indication they're going to throw. He does this time, fade the other side, and incomplete. Garrett with the coverage over there, and he was all over Michael Harrison. Good coverage.
Well, Garrett is 5'8", Brandon. He's 5'8", about 175 pounds. Small, but very, very physical. He led this team in tackles, gets his head turned around. I'll tell you, it was pretty close to Harrison having a chance to make a play, but you got to give Garrett some credit. He's not a big corner, but he used his body that time to wall off Harrison from having a chance to make the catch.
Now here's Quinn Sharp, and remember, Cowboys had a 1st and goal. This will be a 19-yard field goal, and if he makes it, it will snap that 24 unanswered streak by the Wildcats, and he nails it. Sends it through. But the dogfight continues in Stillwater. So here comes a sharp kickoff. Down back at the goal line, Lockett is coming out. Lockett is slammed at the 26-yard line. So still plenty of the time following his changeup. Now we're going to see him throw it. Comes to the sideline, deflected, intercepted on the deflection. Another turnover. Thomas, the linebacker, he got a convoy down the sideline, and the Cowboys are in business. The ball is going to be spotted inside the 10-yard line. And how about this deflection interception? Broderick Brown, folks. We remember a year ago against Oklahoma, one of the great deflections of all time. Now they get another deflection.
Brent, you can see Lockett right there on the ground, the receiver to the inside. That's who he really wanted to throw the ball to. Instead, he comes off and just throws it up to Harper. A good effort by Brown to knock it away. And we'll see whether or not Thomas was able to stay in bounds. Good awareness there to make the pick, but Collin Klein tries to get the ball to the inside receiver Lockett. The coverage is too good. He essentially just throws it up to Harper, and Oklahoma State comes up with a big turnover.
Wildcats are down to the last one. Wheedon again firing touchdown. easy that time to Tracy Moore, the junior from down the road in Tulsa.
That's how you take advantage of an opportunity. Reminiscent of the first turnover by Kansas State. Oklahoma State got a break, and the first play they scored with a Randall touchdown. This time they're able to throw it to Moore, who's starting to have a big night for this Oklahoma State offense. But give credit there to Justin Blackman for getting a lot of attention and setting that up for Moore behind the coverage.
Man, sharp. We're back where we started, Herbie.
Got a ball
all even. This is a dandy. A lot more offense than that one in Tuscaloosa, folks. Come on back. Well, we're on Dr. Pepper's road to the championship in New Orleans, and we've got a tie game. Number 3, 24. Kansas State, 24 here. There's Lockett. This time he's going to come out. Young man from Tulsa breaks free. And he is down at the 37-yard line. He's going to be as dangerous as his daddy and his uncle. Pitch on the option. And no gain coming. A good stop on Hubert by the defense. And coming up was Martin, number 10.
Well, that was a heck of a play by Martin, of just getting off the block. Watch how quickly he comes up. Nice read by Klein. Look at the top of the screen. See how he gets off of the block, by the attempted block that time by the freshman Lockett. He's able to get away from him, and then watch this hit at the end of the play. It's a big-time play by Markel Martin, the senior.
Now 2nd down and 10 coming at the midfield stripe. Deflected, incomplete, and it'll be 3rd down and 10. Blatnick, Jamie Blatnick. He's a very, very good defensive end. He's from Texas, and a good play here.
Just a tough guy from Salina, Texas, just overpowering Offner, the right tackle. Kansas State fortunate that was called an incompletion. It's the right call, but Jamie Blatnick can see the 7 sacks, 9.5 tackles for a loss. When he pins his ears back, he's a force to deal with off of the edge of this defense.
Here's the 3rd down for Klein and the Wildcats. Deflected, and they'll be forced to punt.
Last 2 times, Collin Klein there on 2nd and 3rd down had to throw the football just out of sync, and a good job by Oklahoma State up front of getting a push and getting the hands up to be able to bat those balls down. And again, this is not an offense that's going to have a lot of success when they're facing 3rd down and long.
And they're going to give number 81 another crack at it. Ryan Dorr, the punter. Blackman fumbled one away earlier, led to a Kansas State score. And this one, not a good punt, going to go out of bounds. And we welcome those of you who watched LSU and Alabama play to a field goal tie in the first half. You're watching number 3 Oklahoma State right now with its hands full against Kansas State. We have just about 3 minutes remaining to the first half, and breaking free is Tracy Moore, who has been the big go-to receiver tonight for Oklahoma State. And they've moved the ball to midfield here. As you can see, the sequence of runs that we've had here in the first half.
Chris Kosh, the defensive coordinator from Kansas State, running bodies on and off the field, trying to deal with this tempo and trying to avoid the fatigue that can set in facing this kind of offense.
So Wheedon from the gun fires complete. When he works to that side, you know who he's going to find. Justin Blackman, last year's Biletnikoff winner and a favorite to repeat here this year.
And Brent Malone is in zone coverage. He stayed up close with Randall, and because he stayed up close, there was a nice big window to be able to throw behind Malone, and an easy throw for Brandon Wheedon.
Off a play fake, Wheedon comes firing back, and here's Blackman. And Blackman dives across the 15-yard line, and it's a 1st down and 10 for the Cowboys, and the big fella who fumbled away a punt, which set up a K-State score. Now starting to move the chains as we come down to the final 127.
Well, they stretch you horizontally, vertically, 3 receivers to the left. At left that time, Blackman one-on-one, and a good throw to the backside.
Motions the backfield empty. Here comes Blackman on a screen to the middle, and not much doing. Wildcats were ready for that play, and it'll be 2nd down. Oklahoma State with all 3 of its timeouts. They've got just over a minute here in the first half.
Defensive line working hard to try to stay up with this offense. The tempo, Lutui, 92 that time, the junior college transfer, able to catch up to Justin Blackman.
Randall is the running back alongside Wheedon. Wheedon incomplete, and this will bring up 3rd down right now. On the night, Wheedon 20 of 26 for 248 yards. 2 interceptions, though, which very unusual for him to go along with his 2 touchdown passes. So it is 3rd down here for head coach Mike Gundy. There in the middle, and the Cowboys. 5 wide receivers. And it's deflected. That should be field goal time. They have a very good kicker in Quinn Sharp as he trots on, attempting to give Oklahoma State the lead before the intermission.
Bit of a gamble here by Kansas State. They brought 1 more than the offensive line could handle, and it's Volker, who's typically in that backfield causing havoc. That time he's untouched, comes off the edge, is able to knock that ball down on 3rd down.
So this ball is going to be put down very near the 20-yard line. So very close to a 30-yard attempt here. And the Cowboys regain the lead. So that'll bring the first half to an end.
And remember, Kansas State gets the ball to start the second half after deferring the call.
Let's go down to Lisa Salters on the field. Lisa?
Thank you, Brent. Mike, you guys jumped out to a quick 14-0 lead. What changed?
Well, we turned the ball over, and we've done a great job this year of taking care of the football. And when you turn it over like that, you change the momentum. We gave them 7 points, and so can't do that. That's what changed the events.
Now, when they scored 24 unanswered, what did you say to your guys to get them to refocus and get back in?
Well, they just need to get back to the basics. I mean, they're an experienced football team. We just needed them to go out and play the game.
All right, thank you. Guys.
All right, Lisa, thank you very much. So an entertaining Big 12 showdown here as a very important game over in Tuscaloosa awaits the second half. We welcome you back to Saturday Night Football. Brandon Wheedon and Oklahoma State with a 3-point lead on Kansas State. Last week up in Manhattan, Kansas State pulled real close to Oklahoma, and then the second half went all Sooners. Now the Wildcats got to be careful here tonight.
That's a great point, and I think the timing of that is important for Bill Snyder as he just talked to his team at halftime and getting their attention about the importance of this second half.
So Lockett is stopped at the 15. We check in down below with Lisa Salter.
Hey, guys,
Lisa?
well, I just talked to Bill Snyder, and he said that, you know, in that first half, they just made the kind of mistakes that disciplined teams do not make. He said, I'm proud that our guys are still in there, and I told him that I'm proud of that. He said, but we're still making the kind of mistakes that get you beat. And I said, hey, Coach, even after you guys put 24 points on the board and seem to turn things around, he said, yeah, we're still making these mental mistakes. And I've told our guys that if we do that, we are going to get beat. We've probably given them 21 points, he told me. Guys?
Thank you, Lisa. So Tremaine Thompson has been very active for them. He's caught 4 for 58 yards. He's down toward the bottom of your screen, and there's Harper, and he's in deep trouble. Harper is in deep trouble, and he has run out of bounds at the 27. The pressure was brought by Lewis.
It's interesting, Bill Snyder, think about what he's done for the Kansas State program, coming back 3 years after retiring, and boy, here they are again. I think the big win against Miami, Brent, early in the year on the road when nobody really knew what to expect from this year's Kansas State team. The way they're able to win that game, I think, really gave them confidence as they continue to try to move through this year.
Harper and Lockett will go off to Klein's left. Thompson comes off to the right. Klein Klein gets time and comes in short underneath, and that's Travis Tannehill. We haven't called his name very often tonight. He's a junior from Overland Park, Kansas, and the big tight end makes the catch.
You know, Bill Snyder's been there a long time, and he stepped away, but tonight, 2011, see what that says? Holiday Bowl. Pacific Life. That's going back a few years. Maybe that's the good luck parka that he pulled out tonight.
So Hubert is the running back on this 3rd and 6 for Klein, and the Wildcats, they go trips to the left. And they close the tight end down to the right. Tannehill. Klein, flush, going to be sacked at the 23-yard line by Caleb Levy.
Brent, I think there's some confusion, and you can see just at the last second there, he tried to move Hubert over here. The confusion comes right here because the linebacker and the defensive end end up crossing. And I think you see the left guard Pitts steps down to pick it up, but the running back Hubert was confused on who he was able to pick up, and it brought a man free. An easy play for Oklahoma State's defense.
And Herbie Blackman is back, and they rushed that punt, and they almost got a piece of it. Blackman picks it up on the bounce, and he's to the 42-yard line. And that's where the Cowboys will have their first possession here. So Wheedon, one-time baseball player drafted by the New York Yankees. You were asking him, is his wife big football fan? He said, tell you the truth, she's a real baseball fan. She loved that 6th game of the World Series that they watched together, and didn't everybody, as Randall gets the first call here, and Lamar in there to make the stop. As you take a look back at his days as a pitcher for the New York Yankees, he was a 2nd-round draft choice, and then he had an arm injury, and so that forced him out of baseball. He'd already been offered a scholarship here in football, and he decided to take him up on it. And here he is, firing complete, and Tracy Moore working the middle makes another grab. He's been his most active receiver here tonight. He's got a 7, making 8 balls now for 139 yards.
You know, Justin Blackman gets a lot of attention. Moore is a guy that he's going to tonight. So far, we've not seen Josh Cooper. He's not played at all tonight.
Oh, there's that flash end around with Josh Stewart, the freshman, and he is out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Malone makes a stop. This play has to be timed perfectly, and it was.
Josh Stewart, who is a true freshman out of Denton, Texas, has the speed to be able to execute that.
Now the power run, first down for Randall, and Randall is down to the 31-yard line, and Garrett making the stop. But once we start naming the defensive backs, Herbie, to make those tackles, that means they're getting to the 2nd level all of a sudden.
Yeah, you love to see the way they attack out on the perimeter with the dash, as you said, kind of a jet sweep. They get back into the middle, and then they'll start to attack throwing the football vertically as well.
Play action fake. Wheedon fires, and going to be thrown out of bounds at around the 15-yard line is that freshman you talked about, Stewart.
Yeah, and watch the accuracy. He's in rhythm here. He steps and makes a perfect throw to the freshman Stewart, who's been involved here for 2 of the last 3 plays. He's got great speed and gaining more experience. Again, Hubert Ainium is out. He's not able to play. And again, Josh Cooper not playing tonight. Others have had to step up, and they're willing to do it and able to do it.
There's that slip screen to Randall. Touchdown, Oklahoma State. That's the 3rd touchdown pass of the night for Brandon Wheedon.
Boy, they did such a good job for the first series here to start the 2nd half of mixing up the play calling. Todd Monken went back to the drawing board there at halftime, and they mixed it up. They gave a lot of different looks with their formations. They attacked out wide. They attacked up the middle, play action, about everything you can do, and they marched right down the field, 6 plays and 62 yards for the touchdown.
So Oklahoma State regains a 10-point lead. You see, he flips it out. There's Blackman blocking. The NFL will love to see that. And it's touchdown, Cowboys. Well, here in Stillwater, Oklahoma, we continue Dr. Pepper's road to the championship, and the #3 team of the nation regains a 10-point lead after giving up 24 unanswered points, and now it's the Wildcats' turn to see if they can bounce back in this game. Lockett has been coming out of his own end zone here. I don't think he's going to get a shot at that one. Complete and out of bounds at the 26-yard line is Thompson.
1st and 10, passing the football. Klein has had most of his success tonight throwing the ball on 1st and 10. We've talked all night about Oklahoma State is forcing the Kansas State offense to throw, to be able to move the ball. They've had a double reverse and some passes that have opened up some things in their running game.
Hubert's the running back on this 2nd and 3. Klein rolls, throws for the first down, and Lockett is out of bounds here on the near sideline at the 34-yard line. Tyler Lockett.
Brad, I'm sorry. I
No.
was going to say that most of Klein's passes are the short to intermediate range. So far tonight, he's 15 of 22 for 140 yards, but he's been effective, and he's done enough to make the Cowboys have to respect that.
Play action, moves the pocket to the left and throws it away down that left sideline.
Because what's happening is the defense is collapsing towards the line of scrimmage, and eventually there was a little mix-up there between Harper and Klein, but eventually you got to take your shots, and whether that's a reverse or whether it's a double move, something periodically you've got to try to get the ball thrown vertically, because the safeties and the corners, everybody, they're attacking the line of scrimmage for the shorter passes and for the running game.
2nd down and 10 for Klein and the Wildcats. Quick throw, and they got a first down, and there is Andre McDonald. You know what Coach Young said about this big fella, 6'8"? He's just a Big Mac shy of about 350. Take a look at him.
You can't miss it. 6'8", 275, and he has a crease somehow at his size. He got wide of the linebackers and in between the safeties, and again, Klein in rhythm there, and again, his footwork isn't always perfect, but that time he found his man and made the throw.
So here's the Wildcat now for the 4th time. They scored a touchdown off of it. Angelo Pease looks for the left, comes behind Paulson, still struggling, and crosses midfield.
That was a little sloppy, a little bit too slow developing. They've had some success tonight with that Wildcat formation. That one just took a little bit too long, and Oklahoma State's fast enough on defense where they can get in position there and chase that down. If you're going to go with that, and he's not much of a threat throwing the football, you've got to find a crease and get upfield in a hurry.
2nd down and 8, and Hubert alongside Klein. There's Lockett. Came back and took the handoff. And Lockett for the first down, breaks free, 35-30. And he is down to the 26-yard line. Martin making the stop.
Watch the motion by the quarterback, a little pump fake, just trying to get the defense out of position, trying to get them to be eager, which they've been all night. And I'm telling you, the misdirection and the play action passes have opened things up. And then how about the creativity and the quickness by Tyler Lockett, the freshman in the open field.
A 23-yard gain. He's carried 3 times for 84 yards. He had a 60-yard run on a reverse back in the first half. Keeping it all the way. Picked up a yard. Blatnick making the stop. They are down at the Cowboys' 14-yard line. Klein back in the gun alone. Checks the sideline. 5 receivers are out on this 2nd and goal. Drops it off. Lockett. Touchdown as he dives across. The freshman from Tulsa.
Brent, this is a huge play and an opportunistic move here by Lockett. We'll see if he's going to be okay. But Markel Martin, the safety, was manned up with him, and he fell down in man-to-man coverage. Klein finds him, and it's a touchdown.
And now on is Anthony Cantelli for the extra point. And Kansas State bounces back again. They trail it by 3. It'll be the Cowboys' turn when you come back. Here, Oklahoma State still ahead, but only by 3 with 5:48 to go in the third quarter. They kick it short to keep it away from the dangerous return man. And Herschel Sims, the freshman, is down at the 35. Here comes Randall, will be the running back behind Wheedon. Play action, stands tall, comes middle, Blackman, and here he comes. Not fumbling this one, first down at the 42-yard line. This is the one thing that the coaches love about Blackman.
Watch Ty Zimmerman, Brent, 12. He stays up tight in coverage, and it's one-on-one. It's the matchup that you've been locked in on all night. This time, Blackman gets the best of Malone in one-on-one coverage, and it's a good throw by Wheedon.
Indeed it was, and it'll be for Wheedon. He's thrown for 387 yards. And except for the turnovers, this would be a blowout as Anderson catches that.
Which is ironic because that's what Oklahoma State typically does to their opponent, but tonight they've had to try to overcome that. We'll see if they're able to execute here once they get into Kansas State territory and put points up on the board. Try to get a little cushion here against the Wildcats.
The ball is at the 38-yard line for Wheedon. They run the draw with Randall, got the first down, and more as he goes to the 28-yard line, bringing the clock down on the third quarter. Oklahoma State, number 3, leading, but only by 3 points. We'll be right back. We are back for the fourth quarter as the Dr. Pepper road to the championships continues here with the number 3 team in the nation clinging to a 3-point lead. The numbers 1 and 2 tied at 6 as they go into the fourth quarter over in Tuscaloosa. So we'll see what they've got here on 1st and 10. Ball across the 30-yard line for Brandon Wheedon and the Cowboys. Quick pitch. And Ty Moore, Tracy Moore, the receiver, number 87, has been active here tonight.
Well, he has had a career night. 9 receptions, 146 yards. Is that inside receiver? He's got good size, 6'1", 233 pounds. And they get the ball to him in a hurry. He's able to fight off Arthur Brown there and get some big yards.
Second down and 3. Wheedon fires. Dropped at the 6-yard line. Moore couldn't hang on that time.
What's happening with a lot of these underneath routes is the linebackers are occupied. They see these receivers, there's so many of them crossing in front of them on these scissors routes that the linebackers are stepping up. And we've seen it all night. Wheedon's had some success throwing right behind the 2 linebackers into the middle of the defense.
They're fired at Randall. And he is down at the 23-yard line, and great defensive recognition by David Garrett.
That is a big-time play by David Garrett. He is, tell you what, if you like undersized guys that play with everything, he fights off a block here and makes a play against a physical ball carrier in Joseph Randall. Big-time play by Garrett, the senior.
So it is 4th down for Quinn Sharp. Made his 2 field goal attempts for the 19 and the 29, and now this is longest of the night. Here comes a 40-yarder. Trying to make it 3 of 3. Curls it right in beautifully. It's now a 6-point lead.
If you're a Kansas State fan, this is about what you were hoping for, to just kind of scratch and claw, look up in the fourth quarter and find that you're within a touchdown.
So Sharp will kick it away, and they try to keep it out of Lockett's hands here. And so Thompson, the short man, is down at the 30-yard line. So first down and 10. And they'll run Klein behind Power this time. And he's got about 9 yards. And second down and 2 now. Inside of 11 minutes here. And Hubert breaks free. He's got the first down to the 42-yard line, and Elkins makes the stop.
And this time Collin Klein reads this off to the left of the defense. The defense is so consumed with him that Nicholas actually locks him up on the zone read, and Klein showing that he's still mentally sharp late in this game. Perfect read, and there's the aggressiveness by John Hubert getting upfield in a hurry, shaking some tackles for that first down.
Remember now, they're only down 6 points. 10.5 minutes to go here in regulation. Klein and the Wildcats driving. Play action. And down he goes at the 45. Christian Littlehead from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, makes the play.
Just about to say how well the offensive line has been working here as Kansas State's mixed up their play calling with the run and the pass these last few drives. But this time, Oklahoma State was able to get through. There was the play action off the option look, and they were able to fight through that time. And it was good coverage downfield that also gave them more time to get in there.
Second down and 13. Klein checks the sideline. Shovel pass inside, and a beautifully read and designed play for a first down to the 30-yard line. Hubert, and the rush was all on the inside, and they break for 15.
Boy, some great blocks by the right side of that offensive line. Offner does a nice job. Good acceleration. He draws the defensive end towards him and Robinson, and then deals it underneath. Perfect execution here by this offense, and of course by the quarterback that time, Collin Klein.
Klein checks that sideline. Ball at the Cowboys' 30-yard line. Follows the two lead blockers. Klein crashes to the 27-yard line. Rogers making the stop, and the number 3 team could be in deep trouble here if the Wildcats can finish.
About executing in the red zone. If they get down in that area, they cannot settle for a field goal. And anytime Oklahoma State plays, they always have a disadvantage in the time of possession. But this is big time advantage tonight. Nearly 16 minutes for Oklahoma for Kansas State.
Blood on the left hand. Quarterback not going anyplace. This youngster's a gamer. Lockett's open. Got him. Lockett battling toward that first down marker, and appeared to be shy. Elkins making the stop. Lockett sat down and was all alone there.
Yeah, Brandon, and you know, we get so caught up in the toughness of Klein. Here he shows patience. The linebackers clear out. He just checks it down to Lockett, who's in the open space. You and I can see it from up here. It's another thing to see it back there in that pocket, but it was good patience that time and good awareness by Klein to find him underneath.
Now they come with 2 tight on 3rd and short. And you know how dangerous Klein is when he runs it. You got to hurry now on that play clock. Pitch the option, and Hubert's cut off for a loss. And it's a terrific play by Alex Elkins. Elkins stayed right there on the pitch man, and it was not to be. And here comes a huge 4th down.
Brent, I think what he saw, and the reason there was so much communication, is look at all the defenders down in this area. There's some space out here. His big tight end this time, McDonald and Offner, get off the line of scrimmage freely, but they're not able to account for Elkins. They saw everybody pinching down, anticipating a quarterback sneak, which they did earlier in the game. Nobody was to the outside, and instead of going for the easy first down, they looked for the big play.
Kansas State down by 6 on a 4th and 7. Klein dances away. He's got daylight. First down to the 13-yard line when it opened up to the left. Klein took out, and you know how good a runner this youngster is.
Well, look at the corners, Brent, on the outside, man to man. Everybody's locked up on the outside like this. The only man that's left in the middle is actually the outside linebacker, Sean Lewis, but he, for some reason, gets depth. They leave a huge running lane that time for one of the most aggressive and athletic quarterbacks in the Big 12, and Collin Klein picks up the first down.
So it is 1st and 10 for the underdog Wildcats. Klein keeps it again. And he is battered as he crosses the 10-yard line. Klein tonight has thrown for 195 yards, and now he's closing in on rushing for 100.
Red zone success tonight. 4 times they've been inside the 24 scores, including the 3 touchdowns. They've had a lot of success this entire year once they get inside the 10-yard line and getting touchdowns and not settling for field goals.
Strength is to the right. Hubert is there behind Wilson. 2nd down and 7. Klein going to keep it himself. Cuts and short of that 1st down marker, with Lowe making the stop.
Now you see that formation. You know that they're going to run this football to the right. Look at the patience. He waits for it. He picks up a nice little block there. Again, Sean Hubert doesn't get enough credit within this offense. It's one thing to carry the ball. It's another thing to be 5'7" and 185 pounds, to be a lead blocker for your bloody-armed quarterback, Collin Klein.
So it is 3rd down and 1 for Klein. Option, Klein, end zone. An extra point away from leading number 3. Stanford, Boise State on full alert right now.
The previous 3rd down on the option, instead of going for the sneak, they ran an option and he pitched it instead of keeping it. This time, the same look exactly from Sean Lewis, and instead of pitching it out where Lewis could make a play on it, he cuts underneath it. The blocks are there, and that is a big-time drive. 14 plays, 70 yards in almost 8.5 minutes.
And here's Cantelli for the lead. And Kansas State regains the lead over a 3-touchdown favorite at home. What a night in college football. UCLA, as time was running out, kicked a field goal, I believe, to beat Arizona State and take command of the Pac-12 South. And again, another short kickoff, and Oklahoma State will have it at 35.
It's Oklahoma State, and it's Brandon Wheedon and Justin Blackman in this offense. See how they answer that touchdown drive by Kansas State.
Empty the backfield. Wheedon fires in underneath, complete to Randall, the running back, and he picks up a 1st down. So Randall with a 10-yard gain. And that ball is going to be spotted at the 46-yard line.
Very impressed with how Brandon Wheedon has bounced back from some adversity and turnovers that he has had. He still had a pretty solid night in this game.
Wide open, there's Blackman. Blackman dashing for the end zone. Gave one up and got one back. That is Justin Blackman, just what the coaches told us, a 54-yard touchdown pass, and the best, as Herbie said, the best pass-catch combo in all of college football. And just like that, Wheedon and the Cowboys lead it.
And Wheedon is looking over to the coaches about going for 2 and where they want to put the ball. Instead of going up by 6, they want to go up by 7 in case Kansas State moves the ball down. They're trying to move it over to the left hash, but how about the throw by Wheedon? It's man-to-man coverage. It's been a battle all night between Blackman and the Kansas State defensive backs. That time he got separation. Wheedon found him in one-on-one coverage and made the throw.
460 yards passing for Wheedon here tonight. And here they go for 2. He's going to try to throw for it again. Got him all alone. Same man hands it to the referee. How are you going to stop the big fella? Got to feed the big dog, Herbie. I'll tell you what, folks. This K-State team is not done. Come on back. It's been this kind of night. Brandon Wheedon, 460 yards. That's a career high and a school record here at Oklahoma State. In front of 58,895, a new stadium record at the recently remodeled Boone Pickens Stadium, and a beautiful job they did. Money well spent by Mr. Pickens. And now the kickoff coming K-State's way here. Lockett driven back to the goal line. 15-20, looking for a seam on that left side, and he's at the 40, breaks free. Lockett running for the end zone, tripped up, down at the 20. That's, oh my. You talk about a football game that broke out. Charlie Moore saved 6.
Oh, Charlie Moore, what an effort. What a wall that's set up, and a return to the left by the return team. Great job of finding the crease, and that is just flat out speed and finding a seam. You work on it all week. You set it up. You think you know where a weakness is on the return team, and they got exactly what they need, and what an effort there. A shoestring stop there by Moore to stop Lockett.
Collin Klein and the Wildcats, they are down 7. After the 2-point conversion, Klein keeps it, dances free, and he is brought down at the 15-yard line, picking up 5 on first down, low with the stop.
What a great job of instinctively feeling the linebacker. Levy gets through there. He's able to shake him off, and that's where the lower body, the strength in his legs is able to come into play. Collin Klein is a load to bring down. 6'5", about 225 pounds. He's not going to beat you with quickness. He's going to beat you with speed and power.
4 minutes remaining. Alabama and LSU go to overtime. They are tied in a field goal duel. Here, a much more wide open game, and K-State trailing it by 7. Trying to get this one into overtime with 3:45.
You wonder how much gas Collin Klein has left. He now has 25 carries on the night, 28 pass attempts. He has been the offense, running and throwing. He's got to do it all. See what he comes up with here on 3rd down.
So dangerous as a runner. They got 2 downs to make this. He'll keep it on 3rd. He's got the first, breaks free, end zone, touchdown. They're an extra point away from a tie.
Boy, just great vision and a great feel. He just has a firm grasp of what Bill Snyder wants. As much as Brandon Wheedon understands Mike Gundy and Todd Monken, it's the same thing with Collin Klein. It's a different style offense, but he has such great patience when it comes to running that option and that isolation play for the quarterback when he's able to cut back.
The kickoff return by Lockett. And now we're deadlocked at 45 on Contelli's extra point. But let's go back to Lockett. He set it up. Then 3 plays after that, Klein kept it for 20 yards. This, the last one.
Somebody get him some oxygen. Look at the vision here, Brent. Cuts it back to the left. He is 6'5", 225 pounds, and he's that elusive. A little jump cut here by the big fella. And again, these linebackers, you try to take a good angle. You try to be aggressive. The problem is he's elusive at 6'5", and he's able to cut back against you if you overcommit.
And you know, the one thing that Coach Gundy was a little bit concerned about is stay focused. Stay focused. We're not yet number 2. You got to take care of business in the Big 12. You got to beat Kansas State first. That's step number 1. Well, we shall see if they can do that as Gilbert now breaks to a seam, and he's out to the 35-yard line at 3:11. And can the defense stop Blackman? And how big was that 2-point conversion that Oklahoma State went for? Now 3:11. And let's see if Wheedon can strike again. Back middle, got it, complete. Throws it now to Anderson, Isaiah Anderson, the speed merchant out of Wichita Falls, Texas. And suddenly the Cowboys are threatening again after the 34-yard gain.
Interesting that time. Remember, Blackman just had a big play. That time the safety took Blackman out. They had double coverage, and Wheedon went to the other side for a huge play.
Wheedon back again. Here's Blackman, got it one-on-one. Shoves the DB aside. Why, he's so strong. Puts out one of those mitts and says, nice to meet you, Mr. Malone.
Talk about the importance of that upper body strength for a wide receiver and why guys need to be hitting the weights. Justin Blackman's a guy that doesn't waste much time in a weight room, and it pays off for him on the field.
Just like that, Wheedon's threatening again. Incomplete. Good coverage that time by the Wildcats.
Remember, they did not pick up that first down, so it'll be 3rd and 1. And this almost has a feel who's going to be the last man standing here.
I said last night, while you were in Tuscaloosa, to our guys, George Hill and Scott here, I said, it's going to be kind of nice to take a deep breath and just have a kind of an easy-going game. Holy Toledo, look what we've got here.
Every week we get these games.
2:22 now, Herbie. 3rd down and 1. And they got it. Randall breaks free. End zone. Oklahoma State regains the lead. Joseph Randall breaks in. But there's a lot of time for the Never Quit kids from Manhattan. That's a 23-yard touchdown run. I'm betting they keep this kickoff away from you-know-who. And that, of course, is Mr. Tyler Lockett after this extra point. Here's Quinn Sharp. Seven-point lead again.
Randall has good quickness, but he's tough. The formation with Randall on this side, here's Brown in the middle, here's the other outside linebacker. Look at this huge hole right here, and that's where they're able to attack. There's just, they don't have the angles to be able to come there. And then Zimmerman, the safety's in position to be able to at least stop him. He already had the first down. Zimmerman's right there to make a play, but this gives you an idea. Look how quick, look at that little shake right there. Been talking all night about Collin Klein. How about the running of Joseph Randall in the open field?
So now Kansas State will set the kickoff return, and Oklahoma State will figure out how they keep Tyler Lockett from breaking free. And I got to tell you, I'm kicking this one on the ground, Herbie, or pooching it. Number 16. If I'm Oklahoma State, I'm not giving him a whiff. He's from just down the road, folks. That's right, down in Tulsa. They're probably saying, how come we couldn't recruit a Lockett? Here we go. There's that short kick. Will not be Lockett. And the return man is down. That was Thompson, who went down about the 29-yard line. Wow.
Here we go.
Stepped out of bounds. The LSU with a 1st and goal there. And here's Klein. Comes back with a screen to Hubert. And Hubert is out to the 39-yard line.
Love the call on 1st and 10. Remember, this is a different style offense. Kansas State's down to 1 timeout. They don't have the ability to spread you out with 4 or 5 receivers.
They got to convert this one. Klein rides the running back. 1st down, and the clock will momentarily stop. They'll move the chains now. 7-point lead at 1:21.
And he was reading Jamie Blacknick, and it took a little bit of time there at the mesh point, but he made the right read. I think the defense anticipating Klein keeping it, but he gives it to Hubert.
Klein batted away on 1st and 10. James Thomas, the senior, bats it away, and it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 113 mark.
Klein goes for just a quick throw. Thomas right there gets up in the air. You can see that Ofter tries to get to him, but by the time he does, he's already gone up in the air and knocked that down. He read the quarterback's eyes. He saw that he wanted to go with the quick throw, got up in the air and timed it perfectly.
Here is Klein, back, takes off, running for the 1st down, and he will step out of bounds at the 40-yard line and stop the clock at the 105 mark.
Zach Craig on the backside came on a blitz, number 23. He decides Bill Young's going to put pressure from the backside, and they try to catch him off guard. There's the field. Nice block again by Hubert. And then look at the running lane to the outside here for Collin Klein. He picks up huge yards and gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yeah, 19 more yards rushing. Herbie has run for 137. He's got 105. He's got one timeout. He's in Oklahoma State territory. Fires short of the first down. Clock's got to run. Ball's in bounds. That's Thompson. They got to hurry now. They're inside of a minute.
And with only one timeout, Bill Snyder's got to hold on to that timeout.
They need a touchdown now and an extra point to get this into overtime. 44 seconds. Klein. Quick strike. Got the first down. Receiver gets down to hold on. It's incomplete. Umpire waves it off. That was Travis Tannehill. Couldn't quite hang on to one in the middle. Klein thought he had him.
And the most important thing for Kansas State is the clock stops. So the urgency slows down. It's not always about the downs here in this hurry up. It's about trying to manage that clock. Even though it's an incompletion, they didn't get that first down. The clock stops, and now they can set up for a play that they feel pretty good about here on third down.
LSU setting up for a game winner from 25 yards. They nail it. LSU goes to Tuscaloosa and beats the Crimson Tide. Here Klein fires, and Tannehill waved off. Tannehill had a crack at it, but he couldn't hang on.
Boy, what an effort here. He looks like it.
He just couldn't hold it.
Yeah, and the ball clearly touches the ground. He tries to bring it in, but it sets up this fourth down. They have the one timeout. We'll keep an eye on the play clock here to see if there's any confusion in the huddle to force them to use this.
They need the 4 yards. They must have the first down. They've got a half minute. They've got one timeout. Klein will try to run for it. He's got the first down.
Now you hurry up. You save the timeout. There's no need.
Do you spike it, or do you keep going quickly?
The spike. Well, with the clock being stopped, it allows you to be able to call play, but they're going to spike it here just to get the clock stopped. 27 seconds.
And he puts it right down. Coach Snyder all over that with 25 seconds to go now. So let's set the scene here. Those of you who just watched LSU upset Alabama in Tuscaloosa in a battle of field goals. If you come over here, the number 3 team in the nation, Oklahoma State, now almost a certainty to climb to number 2 if they can win this game. They're only up by 7, and Klein and the Wildcats are trying to get it to overtime. Stanford already a big winner over Oregon State and Corvallis. 2nd down and 10 for Klein. Klein is back, in trouble, throws it away, and it will be 3rd down. The pressure was coming from Thomas. Number 22 was all over him, James Thomas.
Well, this time James Thomas does a good job of getting around John Hubert. He's outside here. Hubert's been picking up these blitzes all night. This time he gets around him with that great athletic ability. But how about Collin Klein? He got outside of that pocket area and threw it downfield and avoided any kind of potential penalty of intentional grounding. But good athletic ability there by the senior Thomas to get pressure on Collin Klein.
3rd down and 10. Final 19 seconds. Kansas State down 7. Klein gonna fire to the corner, caught out of bounds. That was Chris Harper working the sideline to the 5-yard line. Clock stops with 12 to go. What a grab.
He rolls to his right. He's going to the backside the whole way to the former Oregon quarterback who transferred to Kansas State a couple years ago. Harper with outstanding hands and extension to make that catch.
Now, Oklahoma State. There you can see the confrontation with Bill Snyder. He's told the official when he wants a timeout. He's got one timeout to go if they can't get this in. Klein back to throw for it. Looks, fade, end zone, knocked away beautifully in the corner, and that was Martin. Martin went after Lockett and knocked it away, and we're down to the last 5 seconds of regulation.
Outstanding throw. He puts it where Lockett has a shot at it. He actually gets away from Martin in one-on-one coverage, but Martin recovers with the ball floating a little bit in the air, but he's been very elusive and tough to deal with for the Cowboys.
So it's the final 5 seconds. Klein checks over to the sideline to see what Coach Snyder and the staff want to come up with. Klein fires in zone, knocked away. With 1 second left on the clock. Ball is knocked away, incomplete by Broderick Brown. The little corner from Houston, Texas.
What a play by Brown. Interesting call. What an effort again by Harper. Brown knocks it away, but they decide with the ball in the left hash, let's take a quick shot, throw the ball out there to Harper, hope that we still have a little bit of time for that next play. And now you'd expect to see Klein again with his chance to make a play with his feet or with his arm.
Needs 7. Last play of regulation coming up. Klein rolls to the right. Fires high and incomplete, and Oklahoma State will survive a scare. 52-45 on one of the guttiest performances we've seen by quarterback Collin Klein and the Kansas State Wildcats, coached by Bill Snyder. Unlike a week ago at home, tonight they went out guns blazing. But in the end, the number 3 team survives. And they know that up next is that road trip to Lubbock. Then it's Ames, Iowa. Then it's back here for Bedlam against Oklahoma. Nothing's going to come easy in the battle for the BCS Championship game. LSU a winner. They still have to deal with Arkansas and Baton Rouge. Stanford has to play Oregon next week. Checking down below with Lisa Salters.
Thanks, Brent. Mike, how would you describe that fourth quarter?
Well, you know, it's college football's March Madness every week, you know, and it's just a great effort from our team, and I got to give credit to Kansas State. What a great effort from them, and both teams kept firing back, so it's just a great college football game.
That final play, what did you think was coming? What was your defensive call?
Well, we just wanted to get in our base, what we thought was best, and what we feel like we're good at and we've had the most reps at. And I couldn't even see it from there. I just had to listen to the crowd. Well, I couldn't see once he threw the ball, I couldn't see it. I just had to listen to the crowd.
Everyone in the building knew that Collin Klein was going to have to be the guy coming down the stretch. What was so challenging about slowing him down?
Well, he's very athletic, and you know, you got to be able to stop the run, and when he's running the ball, they have an extra man, so it's difficult to stop the run.
Are you curious about that other game?
No, what was the score?
9-6, I believe. Would you like to know who won?
Who won?
LSU won.
There you go. All right.
You didn't know for real?
Now, I'm not so sure they shouldn't have been watching our game.
Absolutely.
There you go.
More offense. Where do you think you'll be in the standings on Monday?
Well, I'm guessing that we'll probably move up, but ultimately, you know, it doesn't matter till the very end.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot. Congratulations.
All right, thank you very much. And you could see that Kansas State bonding together walks off as one. Then meanwhile, the alma mater here with a veteran quarterback, Brandon Wheedon. And they had some scare here tonight. If you weren't with us, they put up a quick 14. And then they stumbled and fumbled and turned it over 4 times. And they had to come from behind. So there you have it. Another great night of college football. We thank you so much for watching Saturday Night Football. Now we take you to the studio for the Ford wrap-up with Robert Flores. You've got some night to talk about.